My pool was my sanctuary until Karen's kids turned it into their personal splash zone. I'm not the villain here, but you'd think I'd committed a felony by the way she screamed, 911, into her phone. It started on a sweltering July afternoon, the kind where the air shimmers and your skin begs for water. I'd saved for years to build that pool in my backyard, a sparkling oasis, my reward for endless overtime and skipped vacations. I'm Jake, 34, single, and fiercely protective of my little slice of peace in this suburban jungle. My neighbors, mostly decent folks, respected boundaries. Except Karen. Oh, Karen. The self-appointed queen of Elm Street, with her minivan, her live, laugh, love, decor, and her two feral kids, Braden and Kaylee, who treated my property like their personal playground. That day, I came home from a brutal shift at the warehouse, dreaming of a cold beer and a float in my pool. Instead, I found Braden, 10, cannonballing into the deep end, sending waves crashing over my deck. Kaylee, 8, was screeching, tossing my pool noodles like javelins. My lawn chair was overturned, my towels were soaked, and a half-eaten bag of chips floated in the water like a soggy crime scene. My blood boiled. I'd never invited them. Never even spoken to them beyond a curt nod at Karen's barbecues. Get out! I roared, storming to the pool's edge. Braden froze mid-splash, his eyes wide. Kaylee dropped a noodle and squealed. This is my property. Where's your mom? They scrambled out, dripping and defiant, muttering something about, Mom said it was fine. Fine. I'd never given permission. I grabbed their towels, tossed them over the fence, and pointed to the gate. Out. Now. That's when Karen appeared, charging across my lawn like a bull in yoga pants. Her face was a mask of righteous fury, her phone already in hand. How dare you yell at my kids, she shrieked. They're just playing. What kind of monster are you? Monster? I snapped, stepping closer. Your kids trashed my pool, Karen. This is my property. They don't get to waltz in whenever they want. She didn't blink. It's a community. We share. You can't just hoard that pool like some selfish jerk. Her voice hit a pitch that could shatter glass. Neighbors peeked over fences, drawn by the commotion. I could feel their eyes, judging, whispering. My sanctuary was now a circus. Share. I laughed, bitter and loud. I paid for this pool. I maintain it. Your kids don't get a free pass to wreck it. I pointed to the mess, the floating chips, the broken pool float, the muddy footprints on my deck. Look at this. They're not welcome here. Karen's eyes narrowed, and she raised her phone like a weapon. You'll regret this, she hissed, dialing. Hello, 911. Yes, my neighbor just assaulted my children. He's dangerous. My jaw dropped. Assault? I hadn't touched them. The kids, now huddled behind her, smirked like they'd won some twisted game. The cops arrived in minutes, sirens blaring, turning my quiet street into a spectacle. 2 officers, a stern woman named Officer Daniels and a younger guy who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else, stepped into my backyard. Karen was in full performance mode, tears streaming, clutching her kids like I'd brandished a machete. He screamed at them, threw their things, scared them half to death, she wailed. I explained my side, voice shaking with rage. They trespassed. They trashed my pool. I told them to leave. That's it. Officer Daniels surveyed the scene, the debris, the kids' smug faces, Karen's theatrics. She raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, did he touch the kids? Karen faltered. Well, no, but he was aggressive. Daniels sighed, clearly unimpressed. Sir, you're within your rights to remove trespassers. Ma'am, keep your kids off his property. Karen's face turned purple. This isn't over, she spat, dragging Braden and Kaylee away. The cops left, the neighbors dispersed, and I thought that was the end. I was wrong. The next morning, my phone buzzed with notifications. Karen had posted on the neighborhood Facebook group, a 500-word manifesto painting me as a child-hating tyrant. Jake Miller terrorized my innocent kids for using his precious pool, she wrote. He's a danger to our community. Comments piled up, some defending me, others calling for a boycott of that jerk's house. By noon, I was the talk of Elm Street, my reputation shredded. I wasn't about to let her win. I printed out photos of the trashed pool chips, noodles, muddy prints and posted them in the group with a calm, pointed response. Karen's kids trespassed, damaged my property, and she called 911 when I told them to leave. Here's the evidence. I just want my home respected. The tide turned. Neighbors who'd seen Karen's antics before chimed in, sharing their own stories of her entitlement. One mentioned her trying to borrow their lawnmower permanently. Another said her kids had trampled their garden. Karen's post backfired, and her allies dwindled. But Karen wasn't done. That evening, I heard a splash. My heart sank. I ran outside to find Braden back in my pool, Kaylee filming him with her phone, giggling. Mom said we don't have to listen to you. Braden yelled, splashing defiantly. I grabbed my phone, called the non-emergency line, and waited. This time, I wasn't yelling. I was done playing nice. When the cops returned, Karen was already there, screaming about harassment. But I had cameras now installed after her 911 stunt. I showed Officer Daniels the footage, Braden and Kaylee sneaking over my fence, clear as day. Karen's face crumpled as the officer turned to her. Ma'am, this is trespassing. If it happens again, there'll be charges. She stammered, then fled with her kids, defeated. I thought I'd won. The neighborhood group was quiet, Karen's posts deleted. My pool was mine again. But victory felt hollow. The next week, I noticed my backyard felt wrong. The water was cloudy, the filter clogged with some foul-smelling sludge. A neighbor tipped me off. Karen had been seen near my fence at night, carrying a bucket. I tested the water contaminated with who knows what, forcing me to drain and scrub the entire pool. Thousands of dollars in repairs, all because Karen couldn't let it go. I could have pressed charges, but I didn't. I'd seen her kids' faces that day, scared, caught in their mom's vendetta. They weren't the problem, she was. I put up a taller fence, installed more cameras, and moved on. But every time I float in my pool now, I feel her shadow, her rage, her refusal to accept boundaries. My sanctuary's still mine, but it's tainted by the cost of defending it. Karen's out there, probably plotting her next move. And I'm ready. Because it's my pool, my home, my life, and no one, not even crazy Karen, gets to take that from me.